Hello, my name is Zane Banfield, and this is my video presentation for Dr. Martin's class. For whoever gets to see this, classmates and Dr. Martin, hope you enjoy. So to start out by saying, I've enjoyed this class. It was an 8-week course. I've learned a lot, and I had the pleasure of actually getting to lead my own group. Over the course of this class for this 8 weeks, I learned a lot about what it takes to lead, how to lead a group correctly, and I plan on diving in and telling you all about it and what I learned in my experiences from leading. So without further ado, I want to go off and start by saying that I led a Bible study with I would say a good 15 people in it. Majority of it is made up of the baseball team. We hosted on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. We've actually been doing it all year long. It's ranged from like Tuesday nights to Wednesday nights, but I know this semester at least, we started at Wednesdays at 8 p.m. I've been a regular attendee since I'd say since I got baptized in September, and I've enjoyed it and loved it a lot. Normally it is led by Ty Wilmot, but for the sake of this class and this presentation, I had I had the obligation to get to lead myself. So what I talked about in my Bible study was addiction. I see a lot of people these days being addicted to a lot of things. I myself was someone who used to be addicted to tobacco. Right, I used to dip a lot growing up. It was okay. It was normalized in my household because my father dipped, and so that was something that I had to overcome personally. And it took a lot. My biggest, what I learned the most from it was I can't do it alone. Thankfully, I just recently quit in September whenever I got baptized, and I really understood how strong and how powerful God really is. I called to him and I asked him, Lord, will you please help me? I can't do this alone. I was struggling immensely. I was spending way too much money, and it was just really putting me in a bad position mentally. And so I really called on him and asked for his help, because finally at that point of, I can't do this alone. And so I touched on that in my group of, we can only do so much as humans, right? We have to call on God. We have to put it in his hands. You have to truly believe that he'll help you and change it for you. And it may not be the way that you want it, right? Like you may, I hope I can just quit. And then the next day you wake up and you don't have any, reoccurring side effects from the addiction, and, everything's hunky-dory and you feel great. That's not really, let's, be real. That's not how it goes, right? Like there's going to be trials and tribulations that you have to go through. The devil's going to try and stop you. That's his MO. So I touched on my personal addiction and my testimony through being an addict of tobacco and how I was able to get through that. And then I also wanted to touch on, video game addiction. I think video game addiction is very big in the United States, and I know it's big, throughout my teammates and the 15 guys that were there, they all play video games quite often and quite regularly. And for me, someone who I play video games, off and on, but I'll catch myself. I sit down and I want to play video games. I'm going to sit there and play for 4 or 5 hours. That's 4 or 5 hours that I could be making money, I could be studying, I could be perfecting my craft in the game of baseball, I could be reading my Bible and getting closer to God. Monetarily, I lose value. Physically, I lose value in my own physical health. Mentally, I lose value. Spiritually, I lose value from playing video games. And I think a lot of people, they don't understand that. And so that was really my biggest point during our Bible study this past week was video games plays a big portion in addiction, and not a lot of people understand that. It can truly harm you. It can really pull you out of your real world, and it's a time taker, right? Like you're gonna sit and play video games for 3-4 hours, and you're gonna look up and maybe you have an assignment due at midnight, and you start playing at 8. You look up, it's 11:50, and you're like, well, darn it, I'm not gonna be able to finish that assignment. And you end up failing the class, right? It all snowballs effects. So I really think video game addiction is a really, really, really bad thing going on. And, I was very lucky that a lot of my teammates came out and they helped them realize, like you're saying, you're right. Like video games are a problem. right? Like it has some people, you know, like some people, they're alcoholics, right? Their addiction is alcohol or drugs or pornography. I think the addiction of video games goes so unlooked because it's so normalized. It's more normalized than almost any other addiction out there, right? Because it's okay. It's okay to play and use and do whatever, but ultimately it sucks you in and takes you away from reality, pulls you away from God, pulls you away from your physical health and your mental health and what you can do in the real world of pursuing yourself and uplifting yourself to make yourself the best you that you can possibly be. And so I had some really good feedback from this group, and you know, I really enjoyed being able to lead and talk to, you know, my peers, people that I have a lot of respect for and I'm close with. You know, and it was a lot of fun. So whoever gets to listen to this, I really hope you enjoyed it, and God bless.